People cannot afford life under the costly Carney Liberals. Liberal debt, taxes and gatekeeping have given Canada the worst food inflation and the worst housing costs in the G7. Food bank use has doubled in the last 7 years of the Liberal government. High Liberal fuel taxes, money printing and red tape have driven up grocery prices. As Trudeau's economic advisor, Mark Carney, supported all of these costly Liberal policies. But in the last election, he presented an illusion. He promised that he would reverse everything that he had said and written and everything that the Liberal Party had done in the prior 10 years. He said that he would spend less. Well, he's now spending 7% more than when Trudeau left office. He has doubled the deficit. In fact, outside of COVID, Carney's present deficit is the biggest in Canadian history, and government spending as a share of GDP is the highest in 30 years. He has not gotten rid of a single bureaucracy or agency, but he has added 12 new ones. He promised Canada would have the fastest growing economy in the G7. He's delivered the only shrinking economy in the G7, the highest household debt in the G7, the worst food price inflation in the G7, the worst housing costs in the G7, and the second highest unemployment in the G7. He promised to be first. He delivered the worst. Mr. Carney stated that Canada faced an existential crisis, and he said the country needed to build at speeds not seen in generations at an unimaginable scale. Nearly a year later, what has he built? Home building is flat, and his own housing agency expects it to fall by 18%. In fact, he's blocking resources. Despite Parliament rushing him unprecedented new powers to fast-track construction projects, he has not used those powers to approve a single new project. No major pipelines are approved. The much-talked-about pipeline to the Pacific currently has no start date, no route, no permit, no builder. The only company that could one day build it says Liberal laws and taxes that Mr. Carney keeps in place will make it impossible to produce enough oil to put in the pipeline. Another illusion. You can't fill pipelines with speeches in Davos, and you can't fill hungry stomachs with fake MOUs and announcements. Overseas speeches do not put food on the table here at home. People can't eat press releases, announcements, or fake MOUs. Enough illusions. We need reality. The $90 billion Alto project is another example of a ridiculous pie-in-the-sky Liberal spending initiative that only got worse under Prime Minister Carney. The Carney Liberals are forcing every family in Canada to spend 8,000 tax dollars on a project that two-thirds say they will never use. If it ever, and by the way, that's $8,000 per family of four, if it stays on budget. And if it ever gets built, the Carney Liberals plan to force families to pay higher taxes every single year into eternity because it is expected to lose money forever. Unlike, for example, air travel, which makes money. In fact, the losses are expected to be twice as high as VIA loses every year right now. As for Carney's promise to build at speeds not seen in generations, Alto's CEO confirmed that the real construction won't begin until the year 2030, a year later than the Liberals originally announced in December. Just to be clear, in the last 3 months, they've already backed up the construction start date by a year. So without even getting a shovel in the ground, they're already missing their own deadlines. Once construction does start, it will take 7 years to build just the short leg from Ottawa to Montreal. In other words, even if the Liberals keep their promise, no one will set foot on this train until the year 2037, 11 years from now. By comparison, do you know how long it took to build the Canadian Pacific Railway that united our entire country from concept to completion? 4 years. So we built the Canadian Pacific Railway over a century ago. in less than half the time that Liberals promise it will take to build this $90 billion monstrosity. Carney Liberals will confiscate farmland and private property, disrupting communities and harming the quality of life of local residents, who will not even get to use the train because it won't have any stops near their homes. Canadians have seen this movie before. In 1969, the Liberal government expropriated 100,000 acres of farmland to build the Mirabel Airport right along the Montreal-Ottawa corridor. They displaced 12,000 people. In the end, the government only used 5,000 of the 100,000 acres they confiscated, and passenger flights stopped 20 years ago. Can you imagine that? They kicked 12,000 people out of their homes. They ruined 100,000 acres of land. They only used 5% of the land, and now they're not even running flights. And now they want us to repeat the entire boondoggle over again.